So let's talk about what you can expect during a Reiki workshop or training with me. First and foremost, let me say this loud and clear. Every Reiki practitioner has their own practices and processes they use for facilitating training. Having studied with two different Reiki master teachers, I use a hybrid of the things or the approaches that I've learned from them. But as I've moved through my practice and also brought in my own practices as someone who is a trained coach and facilitator, I have intuitively created my own agenda and my own flow for every Reiki training. So that's to say that what you might experience with another practitioner may not necessarily be identical to what you experience with me. First and foremost, the workshop is going to be inclusive of creating some time and space for us to reflect on our own healing journey. We will learn about the history of Reiki as well as practices in other cultures that similar in kind to that modality are really focusing on healing energy through whether it's through healing touch or certain practices that we use within Reiki that we see mirrored throughout culture and throughout time. So we don't necessarily recognize that or believe that Reiki is the only energy healing modality, because it most certainly isn't. We recognize that there are versions or akin practices across cultures and across timelines. So we spend some time thinking about that. We also learn about the energy body. We will learn about our chakras and the anatomy of spirit, if you will. So we're learning about how a chakra may also align to a certain set of organs, and that when Reiki is flowing to that particular area of the body, we know or we recognize that energy is supporting not only the clearing or balancing of that chakra, but also the healing and support of those particular organs or systems that are in that area. And we learn how to use our intuition and the practice of Reiki to discern where there may be areas that call our attention. We know that Reiki flows to where it's supposed to go. And so in that regard, it is our responsibility to become clear channels, or the clearest channels that we can be. I like to tell people that I am, just plugging in and allowing the energy to flow to them. But over time, we also, as practitioners, begin to build our intuition, which allows us to connect and understand more of what's happening in the room. So we really spend time learning about the practice. In Reiki 1, you'll experience an attuning that will process or ritual that will actually attune you to Reiki energy. And then as we move through Reiki 2 and future workshops and Reiki 3, there are different levels of attunement for each of those classes or workshops. And you'll receive not only those attunements, but the symbols that correspond so that you can begin to use them in practice for yourself. As a practitioner, I really emphasize Reiki 1 as being about really getting ourselves together, for lack of a better phrase, and focusing on our own healing, because so many of us who are called or drawn into healing practices are oftentimes holding space and working to heal others, but we're not actually doing the same for us. And the part of the responsibility or the requirement for being a clear channel is healing you, is creating space for you, is making sure that you're okay. We've heard the adage that you can't pour from an empty cup. But as healing practitioners, it is really important that we're continuously doing our own work. And so that Reiki level 1 attunement is also helping to clear blockages and attune your energy for the journey ahead. So that's a little bit about what you'll experience in our Reiki workshop. If we're together, we're doing our workshop here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at Oh My Goodness Wellness Bar, in the beauty and comfort of that space. We'll have lunch, we'll have refreshments, and it is truly a retreat that is also a learning experience. We meditate together. We practice Qigong. We get outside and get in the sun. We earth. And we build community, most importantly. And in our virtual setting, we do much of the same, except that I can't provide the same lunch because we're not together in the same place. But I hope that gives you some insight into what to expect and also how I, as a Reiki master teacher and practitioner, show up. Thanks for listening.